Hi, hello, good afternoon. It is the 16th of February 2024, and I've just had some post arrive, even though it's a Sunday. You can probably hear my son, he's playing in his bedroom. And they were all brown envelopes, so I was a little bit worried because, brown envelopes aren't always a positive thing. And what it appears is that my personal independent payments have been reinstated by the Department of Work and Pensions, and I've been able to do this on an appeals procedure which has taken over a year to happen. So I just want to give a big thank you to Citizens Advice and to the NHS and to my doctors and to the mental health team in Nuneaton and Warwickshire, and to everybody that has helped me and has supported me in getting my personal independent payments reinstated. So many people out there are suffering and have had benefits cut, and I just think it's absolutely disgusting that this is happening to people, especially people that I know out there who are worse off than me. And the only way I've managed to get mine back was basically by the support of other organisations and other people that were able to submit written testimonies on my behalf, who were able to provide medical evidence, who were able to prove without a shadow of a doubt that every single day for me that my illnesses and my disabilities, which people tend to class as learning difficulties nowadays, do affect me on a daily basis. Now, you're probably wondering why you're seeing a picture of my feet. The reason for this is because one of the health problems I suffer with is bile acid malabsorption, which most often is mistaken for irritable bowel syndrome. And one of the issues I get with bile acid malabsorption is these breakouts on my legs. And I know I have so many people commenting, shave your legs, you minger. But I can't shave them. If I was to shave them, they would be a million times worse than what they are now. So all of these outbreaks here, they look like bites, but they're not bites. I'm still waiting. I've been waiting a year now to go to dermatology again to see what they recommend. But the only thing I can really do is just sort of exfoliate, moisturize, try and drink as much water as I can throughout the day. And then obviously bear in mind that because of my bile acid malabsorption, I do take multivitamins to help my body and to prevent things like my B12 levels being too low. But yes, for some reason, they always seem to be in the same place. And obviously on my knees. And then again this side. So I have, over Christmas, I was actually put on another course of antibiotics twice because I ended up having a suspected kidney infection, which again I was told was probably linked to me having bile acid malabsorption. My arms aren't too bad, which is great. But again, I was having to go into hospital and I was saying my skin is really itchy and I was getting a lot of lower back pain, a lot of lower abdominal pain. And because it was pain that I haven't really experienced in such a long time, they said it was good that I came in. It was best to be safe than sorry. They'll write to my GP, make sure that any additional tests that I may need to undergo take place. But so far, when me my video without a yawn, the itching on my arms has stopped, which is fantastic, which means that after I stopped taking the antibiotics they put me on, that there doesn't seem to be any after effects that have damaged my kidneys or my liver. But if in doubt, please, please, please see your doctor. My mother, bless her, she had itchy arms for about a month. And then the moment they tested her blood, they realised she had kidney failure. What looked like kidney failure, sorry. And she also then ended up with jaundice. Luckily, she survived. She was treated. She is now home. I wouldn't say she's 100% healthy, but again, I kept saying to her, take it from me. If I get itchy arms or itchy legs or spots or flare-ups on my skin, I know it's either going to be related to my kidneys or my liver. And she was like, no, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. She ended up spending almost 4 weeks in hospital because of suspected liver failure. And she ended up with jaundice. So, you know, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I know one of the things that's been really big on social media recently is septicemia. So again, don't take risks with your health. I know it's very long-winded. I know there's a lot of red tape. I know the waiting times, even with the new NHS 111 service and the triage service a lot of GPs offer now. You aren't always seeing your doctor, another yawn, for at least 24 hours and sometimes even 72 hours after you've made a initial online form, which I don't do. I always have to ring up my doctors and they always say to me, fill in the online form. And I'm like, I can't, I have really bad dyslexia. And then they all fill it in for me over the phone. So again, even elderly people do not have to fill these forms in online. Your GP will do it for you. And I know so many people say to me, oh, you're a liar, you're a lying bitch. There's no way someone like you's got mental health, because if you did, you wouldn't be able to do videos online, you wouldn't be able to talk online. Put it this way, when I do these sort of things, it's because I'm trying to get a point across, which I know always seems to get lost in translation. And I try to do it on the days where sorry, my medication isn't knocking me for 6 and I physically am actually asleep, which, I don't do when I have my kids. But, as they get older, like my oldest, for example, he's 11, he understands that I have to take pain relief. He understands that I have to take certain medication that makes me drowsy. And he'll say, don't suffer. Take your drugs. But again, it's great that my children are understanding these things. Apart from obviously my son who has autism, he's still not 100%, even understanding that he has to take his own medication. So it's a real battle. But the pain management side of my health is probably the thing that makes my health so much worse. Anyone who is in pain should not suffer in silence and should not be in pain. Quoting a G.I. Joe, the only good thing about being in pain is that it reminds you that you're not dead yet. So please, 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 anyone who has had their benefits stopped or is worried about claiming benefits off the government, like universal credit or disability living allowance or personal independent payments or carers allowance or attendance allowance, do not feel like you shouldn't do it. Go to your local Citizens Advice Bureau. I know, unfortunately, the waiting times are really, really long. But as long as you've made the application, sometimes it can be backdated. But again, they'll be able to explain all this to you. And if you've gone down the appeals procedure, like myself, again, they will backdate my benefit to the date that I appealed from, or the day my benefit stopped. But again, Citizens Advice will help me with this. And I just want to again say, citizens advice, they don't always know what they're doing, but they will do their best. They are all volunteers and they deserve so much appreciation. And I just think anyone who has had their benefits stopped, please do not accept that as the final answer. I mean, for 20 years, I kept applying for disability living allowance. And I kept being told, no, you're not ill enough. There's nothing wrong with you. You shouldn't be claiming this benefit. And then after having my children, my health deteriorated to the point where I was literally couldn't even get out of bed without being in agony. And I applied again, and then they said no, and then I appealed it, and then it was awarded. And then 2 years later, it was declined. I appealed it again, and it's just been re-awarded to me. So please do not take no as an answer. Sometimes you have to fight, and it is bloody hard work fighting. Believe me, I've had days where I've literally wanted to slip my wrists, or, not in front of my kids, obviously, I would never do that. But I have literally been on the phone to the crisis team. I have messaged people on social media. I have done online videos to say how my illness has affected me to the point where I just cannot go on. Money is not always the answer for everything, but what it does now mean, now that I am in receipt of that money again, that I can go back to having people and paying them for their time and paying them for their services to help me. Whereas once that money stopped, I couldn't do that anymore. And again, when people do claim these benefits, sometimes, it is so that other people can help and support them. It's not just so that they are able to live their lives on their own single-handedly and be independent. Everyone deserves the right to live a happy and safe life to the best of their abilities. And I do not see why that anyone who has an illness or disability, or even if you don't have an illness or disability, should be penalised because you do not fit into that little box that the government keep trying to put everybody in. It is just absolutely disgusting. No child should live in poverty. Nobody should live in a world where, they cannot feed or clothe themselves or have adequate, safe and warm accommodation. And I just think it's sad that in my home country, in the United Kingdom, we seem to be going backwards instead of forwards. And it would just be nice if they would stop trying to penalise those people that really, really need the help by making it 100 times more difficult to support people that genuinely need it. So Citizens Advice is the first place I would recommend anybody goes to, that and your doctor. And if in doubt and you are at risk, or you have anyone you know or love is at risk, ask for help. Because at the end of the day, even something as simple as phoning somebody up or banging on their door, if they're happy for you to do that, to check that they're okay, could save somebody's life. So look after yourselves, be safe, be well, be happy. And if you are safe, well and happy, then maybe, just maybe, you may be that one person that can help and save somebody else in the future. So take care of you. All the best. And anyone who obviously is rude or disrespectful or abusive to myself or anyone else, your comments will be removed. But please, 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 if you have had your benefits stopped, or if you need to claim and you feel you shouldn't, speak to your local Citizen Advice Bureau and they will help and support you, because no one should have to suffer. Thank you.